Welcome to our next workshop in our series of 200% living, 100% spiritual, 100% material practical. This is Creating Your Best Life workshop. It's going to be a little different than what we've done before. We'll start out with doing some nice chanting to get the nervous system tuned up. You're going to only get one mantra today. It is for creating via Namashi, working with the third eye or the pituitary pineal gland or that Ajna chakra in the middle of the brain. But the most thing that I'd like to get through to you guys today in the workshop is that you really do have a lot that you can do in terms of where you focus and where you keep your thinking to help you get the most out of life and begin to get the kind of results you're looking for. We'll talk about why you don't get the results maybe sometimes when you use some of these techniques, and it's really pretty simple, but again, it's something that needs to be addressed. All right, so let's do a little chanting here to get the nervous system tuned up. All right, so we're going to start over here. We're going to start at the base of the spine there. We'll go to the navel chakra here, the heart, and right in the middle. And if you want to use that little technique we just talked about in class, just put the tongue at the roof of the mouth there, and you'll feel that energy go right up where it needs to be in the brain, and that's where you'll be chanting the different, the Om here. All right, so put your focus on kind of where you were pulling in that root lock or where you're seated at the base of the spine. And the word is Ah. All right, so here we go. We'll do it 3 times. Inhale. Ah. Again, inhale. Ah. One more time, inhale. Ah. All right, feel that energy coming up into the navel area. Manipura chakra, and it's going to be ooh. Here we go, inhale. Ooh. Again, inhale. Ooh. One more time, inhale. Ooh. All right, to your heart, please. Ma. Inhale. Ma. Again, inhale. Ma. One more time, inhale. Ma. All right, right up to the third eye. If you like, take your tongue, push to the back of the mouth there, that soft palate area, push up. You're going to sing right that. You're going to sing Om, or Om, excuse me, right into that. Here we go, inhale. Om. Again, please inhale. Om. One more time, inhale. Om. And just breathe some nice breaths here. Just kind of let the flow of the energy become a little more apparent to you. Again, we always start at the spine, work up. There are techniques where you can kind of arc back and forth between the different chakras here, but today we're working with the base of the spine to the top of the head there. So just kind of breathe and kind of feel if things feel a little different to you, or just kind of enjoy that nice sense of maybe feeling a little more connected or lighter or, calm down, whatever works for you. And just nice big yoga breaths. Inhale, tummy out, rib cage out. Exhale, tummy in. Just keep telling the nervous system everything is okay. Neck and jaw soft. Keep your shoulders down. All right. Now we're going to go focus back on the root chakra, the navel, the heart, the throat, and mouth this time, and brain and eyes. It will be Namah Shivaya. And that is the one we're going to be working with today a little more specifically. You're going up. These are all Sanskrit words for the 5 elements. Na is earth, ma is water, she is fire, va is air, ya is what's called ether or space. They have 5 elements. We have 4 basic elements. They have 5. So go back to the root chakra. All right, it's chakra like chocolate. That's how you remember that. All right, and it's going to be na. So inhale right at the base of the spine. Na. Good. Do it again. Inhale. Na. One more time. Base of the spine. Inhale. Na. All right, go to the navel. That's going to be ma, water, navel. Here we go. Ma. Again, inhale. Ma. One more time, inhale. All right, the heart, she, fire, fire, the heart chakra. Here we go. Inhale. She. Again, inhale. She. One more time, inhale. She. All right, the throat and the mouth, va, kind of a soft va. Here we go, throat and mouth, here we go. Va. Do it again, please, inhale. Va. One more time, inhale. Last one, right at the third eye again. If you like, push up through the roof of the mouth a little bit to get the sense of where you're going to put the vowel sound. It's ya, ya. Here we go. Ya. Again, inhale. Ya. One more time, inhale. Ya. All right, go ahead, just kind of relax, kind of let that energy flow through the nervous system. And then we'll be mixing these vowel sounds up a little bit more to get the chant we're going to be using, or the mantra we're going to be using today, which is Vaya Nama Shi. All right, so it'll be Vaya Nama Shi that we'll be using. Really get used to feeling through the soft palate where the energy flow is going to go in the midbrain there, all right, because that's where you're going to be focusing out of. That is what's called your third eye, in kind of slang terms, or the Ajna chakra. All right, it's called the third eye because that is the seat of your imagination. You can see things in your imagination. That's called the third eye. You see things, but they don't necessarily have to be right in front of you. And what happens when you push or you just let this energy flow out from you and add in the mantra Vaya Nama Shi, all right, you're setting in motion physics. You're using physics here to cement, to pull in what you're focusing on or you have in your mind to pull it into your life in a material way there. It's just basic creativity. You're making something out of nothing. You're taking something that is invisible, making it visible. You're combining different elements that had been maybe in a chaotic state into something that is easier to see, easier to touch, easier to feel. All right, but you're always starting with something invisible and you're making it visible, all right? And the problem is when you start to do things like this using these visualization techniques and these manifesting techniques is you don't have a clear idea of what you really want. So you're sending out two different sets of vibrations And the one that you are really have your feeling around is what's going to manifest. And it may not be what you really, really want. So you have to be very careful that you don't let this negative stuff, which tends to be more scary and something that we do focus on, whether we want to or not. If you're wondering why you're pulling on all this negativity, it's because that's the vibration you're sending out, unfortunately, though you don't mean to. All right, so there is a way to begin to connect the two there so that you do get the feeling part of you behind what it is you're looking to manifest. Now be aware it is these techniques take some time and practice and focus. All right, some people are better than others at this naturally. We were talking about this last night. Some people really are spiritually gifted. They meditate, and meditation comes easy to them. Some of these techniques of creativity come easier to them, but it doesn't mean that you can't learn how to do this. Again, I used to teach calligraphy as a way of accessing people's artistic side, and all the time I would say, you know, this is an art form, and they'd say, well, I'm not an artist, I can't draw, and I'd say, but you just learned calligraphy, you're an artist now, and it would open up a whole new world for them because they had never thought of themselves as artists just because they couldn't do something, a little small part of the brain is part of the brain can draw, but they're creative and artistic in other ways, maybe the way they put a financial plan together, or they run their kitchen, or the way they put their life together can be a creative endeavor as well. But it takes focus, and we were talking about this again last night. You really have to know what you're looking for. You just can't kind of wander out into the universe there and expect things to be as satisfactory as they can be. All right, so your focus is critical here. So that's where meditation comes in. You kind of get in a state there where you're not so concerned about performance, you're not so concerned about the rules, the regulations. You can just let the elements kind of float around in the subconscious there and come together in a whole new way. We had one interesting thing happen this week. A lady that does not know anything about these archetypes we've been talking about, has only been with us for about a month, went down into a good meditation over the week there, and she said she woke up, she said, I was just getting to the point where something was resolving, but the image that came through to her was the pink lady. So she had no idea who the pink lady was. I didn't either. She went home, she came back the next class, pulls out a picture of Lakshmi. She has no idea what these archetypes are in Hinduism, and she says, this was the pink lady. All right, well, the pink lady was Lakshmi, who is the archetype for prosperity, wellness, female, creative energy, and all of us, things like that. So you never know what's going to come through here. She has not been to any of our workshops. That just was something that she arrived at by kind of accessing what we call the Akashic Records, or the universal subconscious. And that was very meaningful to her with some things that she was going through. So you never know what's going to pop up if you let it kind of come through here. So that's what we're going to be doing here. So if you want to, write down somewhere so you can look at this. We're going to chant it a lot. It's just Vayanamashi. All right, you're arranging the elements a little differently. And you're starting with the spoken word. All right, all different traditions. Creation starts with the word. All right, so you're starting with Va, air, communication. It'll be Vayanamashi. Vayanamashi. So write it down if you're comfortable looking at it. At some point, you may get on a roll. You'll get it. You can close your eyes. All right. So however you want to do this. But we're going to be chanting this quite a bit to kind of tune up what you're going to be using there with that third chakra, that third eye, excuse me, that's your, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it's the fifth chakra. Fifth or sixth chakra, all right. So if you need to, use your tongue, push up through the soft palate there, kind of get an idea of where that energy goes right up into the pituitary pineal glands, or that third eye, and get a sense of that. And just listen a couple times, join in when you're ready. It's got kind of a nice flow to it. It's a nice little sort of in a minor key there. It's just Vayanamashi. All right, so go ahead and get comfortable. Vayanamashi. 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 Vayanamashi, 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 Vayanamashi. Keep breathing. Vayanamashi, third eye, center of the forehead, back to the midbrain. Vayanamashi, 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 Vayanamashi. Keep breathing. Vayanamashi, 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 third eye. Vayanamashi, midbrain, center of the forehead. Vayanamashi, 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 Vayanamashi. Three more times. Vayanamashi, Vayanamashi, Vayanamashi. Good. Now when you're trying to bring something into manifestation, invoke something like Ganesha, which is gum, Shreem for Lakshmi, Durga for cutting through self-imposed lack, limitation, and you know all these chants already, so feel free to pull in these archetypes here to clear the way for you. Gum, of course, is for Ganesha, the elephant-headed god of removing the obstacles in your life, or the archetype rather. Again, you can associate this with any tradition that works for you. You can think of them as archetypes. They are energy fields, all right, feel free to work with them, experiment with them, see if they do anything for you in terms of helping you connect back with your higher or creative self. All right, I have some things that we're going to look at the handout downstairs, but I have some things I think you might enjoy hearing up here there. So let's look at some different ways of getting that energy so that flowing, so that you are basically, learning to get out of your own way. All right. So this always revolves around choices. In yoga, I'm always telling you guys, you have a choice about where to put your focus. All right, we talked about, there's a guy out in front of Caesar's Pizza he's the guy, he's out there shaking the big piece of cardboard that says hot and ready, fresh pizza. And if you'll notice as you go by there, he has done this so much and so often, he's worn a groove in their lawn there, and it is down to the bare earth. That's because he's been walking up and down there shaking that piece of oak tag, and he's really gotten into the groove there. So what you've done is, in advance, inadvertently, by your culture, by your family, by predisposition, you have sort of these dysfunctional ways of looking at things and paradigms in the brain. They're actual physical neural circuits that have been kind of burned into your brain there. And yoga teaches us, if you learn to shift your focus and put it where you prefer it to be, and you do this over and over again, you're going to learn to override those old dysfunctional circuits, and you're going to build nice new healthy circuits that are going to help you have a better experience of this lifetime for yourself there. All right, so you always have choices. I'm always cueing you guys in class, focus on your breath, focus on where you are in the posture, keep bringing your focus back to where it's a good space for you, you're not working too hard or too little, all right? And that's a choice thing that I'm constantly emphasizing in our yoga classes here, all right? So just consider some of these things here. You always have a choice. If you can't find answers, it means you've overlooked the obvious. So maybe that's something you've been struggling with. If you feel you don't have a choice, maybe you've overlooked the obvious because you're not seeing it a certain way. You're not thinking outside the box because of those old grooves in the brain. All right? You always have options. All right, just like in yoga class, it's up to you to make the best of the stretch there. You got to check out what these options might be, and you're going to have to maybe start thinking out of the box a little bit. All right, to find the options, you've got to focus into that third eye or that higher awareness, which is not limited by anything. All right, you've got to learn how to do that. Meditation helps you do that. Once you figure out some of these options, then connect with them energetically and begin to focus on them over and over again. Last time at one of these workshops, I handed out your sticky notes. Once you figured out what these options might be that you would prefer to flow your energy to, put them up all over the house, your car, your office. You know, I'd like to do this, I'd like to do that, I want to manifest this, that, and the other thing. But you've got to keep this kind of in the forefront of this force field that we've started up here. Because that's what's going to manifest as you begin to flow energy to it, all right? It's all physics. Every bit of it is really physics, all right? So if you're in a situation you don't like and you don't know what to do, all right, you got nothing to lose by trying some of these techniques, all right? We'll address why maybe they haven't worked for you before, or you got to be really, really certain about what you're looking to have happen or better, all right? So whether you're in such a situation, whether of long-standing or not, try to look at it like this instead. So think of a situation that's bugging you. All right. This alone is valuable. Figure out one thing that's really bothering you. Just pick one thing. All right? And try and look at it like this. This is the result of my own energy flow. You've inadvertently, it's been bugging you, you've been putting your focus there, and you've been reinforcing its presence in your life, however inadvertently. So this is the result of my own energy flow. I do not have to like it or approve of it. All right? And I don't want to add to it by focusing negatively on it. And believe me, these things will pull you, they'll suck you right in. All right? But now you're getting a little more aware. All right? I know there are choices, there are alternatives and options. Some part of me knows this. And instead of just discounting it because it's never worked before, let me see if I can try it from a different perspective. All right? And you can say something to yourself like, for the highest good, I call out that these choices or options be revealed to me. So you're asking. If you don't ask, you don't get. All right? So you're asking for the highest good, may these choices be revealed to me. Next thing you can do, if you can, you listen and maybe write down. Start writing. It may be an image, it may be a word, a number. Just start writing. See what comes out. You're not going to try and pound it into place. All right? Just like in a yoga posture, the harder you try, the more it's going to slip away from you. All right? So don't let monkey mind intrude. Oh, yeah, I get it. Boom, boom, boom. All right? Back off. Back off. You're still trying to let this flow. You're trying to let it happen as comfortably as it can for you and for others. All right? I'm not going to fly into what's sometimes called fix-it energy or hi-ho action type of mode here. Back off. Let this stuff flow. The minute you try to start to control it, you're going to shut the flow off. So you got to be kind kind of in the groove with this for just a little bit longer. Instead, I'm going to find my many choices and flow my energy to the one that I really, really like, now that it's easier for me to tell. All right. And then you begin inspired action, all right, by really keeping your focus there and on top of things when you're really looking to manifest something specific. Get your sticky notes out. Every hour or so, just say, oh yes, I'm manifesting, I need an extra $1,000 by the end of the month. And do something that's doable, but a little challenging. All right, so if you're not comfortable with manifesting $30,000 by the end of the month, pick something that is doable, but a little challenging. All right, to see if that might give you some, a little bit of a confidence. You're looking to build some confidence here. And it's like a muscle. You're learning to flex your creative manifesting muscle. So start with something that's just a slightly challenging and see if you can begin to manifest it. All right? Sometimes you'll get funny things showing up because it wasn't quite clear, but you're definitely on the right track. And I'll give you a good example of this. If you know the great inventor Benjamin Franklin, well, he was into a lot of esoteric stuff, and he was a Mason, and he really had a lot of interesting things going on there. And he actually, mathematically, there's something called a magic square, which we have actually used in one of our feng shui workshops. It's got the numbers in it and a 9. It looks like a kind of a Rubik's Cube type of thing there. Well, he was big into these magic squares, and the different numbers in the different parts of the square, you can manifest different things like that, all right? So I'm working with this energy a bit, with Mr. Franklin's discovery of some of these vibratory sort of formulas, I guess you'd want to call them there. And so I said, well, Mr. Franklin, I'm just kind of talking myself through this in a creative way. I said, boy, I'd like to work with this energy quite a bit here and, see how it might manifest, all right? And I'm telling you, within a week, all right, Mr. Franklin and mine, I'm working with some money flow here. I had 3 people come into the yoga center who wanted to pay me, and all they had was a $100 bill, and who's on the $100 bill? Mr. Franklin, all right? So you'll have funny things like that. All right, I was very amused. I knew I was on the right track here, so you can work with the energy like that. And as you get a little more confidence, then you begin to work in larger scopes and larger fields of manifestation. All right, you'll probably get monkey mind coming in at some point saying, oh, you bad, bad person. You're not supposed to ask things for yourself. Don't, think out of the box. Don't get too carried away here. You're only going to be disappointed. You're going to have to learn to tune that stuff out, because if you focus on it, guess what's going to manifest? All right, so we talk in yoga class, you don't confront the negativity, you shift your focus. The moment you confront the negativity, you've just given your power to it. All right, so you have to learn to shift your focus, use your sticky notes, have some kind of routine in the morning where you just kind of write everything out. Writing's very good to help manifest, because you're manifesting something physically as you write, so that might be an option for people like that. All right, so if you've done some of these techniques before and it didn't happen, you got to really check and be honest and see what is your main vibrational rate flow. And if it's coming out, I'm worried, I don't feel confident in doing this, I'm just trying this, but my heart isn't in it, it's not going to happen. All right, so use some of these techniques where you pull back, really, focus on one thing that you're looking to have specifically manifest, and then begin to, little by little, work yourself up to where you have more confidence that at least you can focus on it from 1 hour to the next. So you're taking it in little bitty baby steps. So the first thing you're looking at is to decide what one of these things is that you'd like to have manifest or better. You make the commitment to keep it at the forefront of your focusing. You make another commitment to when you start to feel negative or you start to feel discouraged, you deliberately shift your focus over to what you'd like to have happen instead. You can get to the point where you really use your imagination, you begin to see yourself doing it and enjoying the fruits of it. You can really get into that, all right? I'm going to give you some interesting little numbers here. You may have heard some of this before, but it's always fun to talk about this. All we're looking at is a flow of 16 seconds. All right, 16 seconds. Most people can focus more or less on something, and you can learn to do this for 16 seconds. That's not very long. That's a quarter of a minute. Then you can learn to add on another 16 seconds. This is the equivalent of something like, what was it, 2,000 hours of hard work, killing yourself, trying to do things the hard way, all right? So if you can learn this technique, focus for 16 seconds and another 16 seconds, you're saving yourself thousands of hours of, really hard scrabble, miserable living when you can be taking the easy way out and just watch it kind of land on your lap. All right, that's the choice you're looking at. If you can add on another 16 seconds, I think it's up to you to save yourself 20,000 hours, and another 16 seconds after that, it just multiplies geometrically. All right, so you're looking at 16 seconds. Can you commit to, once a day, really getting into the feel and the flow for 16 seconds of what you'd like to have happen? All right? Maybe you would like to, once you get the hang of that, you put your little post-it notes around there, and every hour there for 16 seconds, you get into the feel, all right, of what you'd like to have happen. 16 seconds. And when you get comfortable with that, you'll add on another 16 seconds. You'll flow for 16 seconds, you'll start to flow for 32 seconds, and then you'll flow for 48 seconds, and so forth. All right, so you're looking to add on, but these are seconds, a minute or two of your effort. Your concentrated effort is so powerful that it's going to save you thousands of hours of really, grungy, awful stuff in terms of, that's not what you're here for. You're here to learn how to manifest and how to use this focus technique far more magnificently. All right, so think of that 16-second thing there. 16 seconds. Almost anybody can sort of focus on one thing for 16 seconds. If you watch TV, if you're reading a book, you're used to focusing for way longer than that. But you won't have something entertaining you outside of yourself. It's an inside focus. All right? Anytime you focus outside yourself, you are dreaming. You are not going to bring things to fruition. You have to focus inside. That's where you are awakened, and that's where the energy gets on the right wavelength and it can begin to go out into the cosmos and come back the way that you're looking at. So think of the 16-second rule or the every hour rule. There are different techniques, to help you, keep your focus where you want it to be. All right, you have a choice. Monkey mind loves you to be the V word, the victim. Loves it. You're stressed out, you're miserable, misery loves company, all right? What you're doing is you're pulling back and reclaiming your own power, all right? You're reclaiming mastery of your mind. You're putting your focus where you want it, not where monkey mind wants it. So let's review some of the stuff that victim mode might feel like. The world of victims. Victims live in powerlessness. They take little responsibility for their feelings. They're joyless because they've given away their power, whether consciously or unconsciously. They are not the boss of their lives, rather everything and everyone else is. They buy into psychodramas, and they judge the players relentlessly. That's all monkey mind stuff. Victims feel like helpless pawns being moved around. They need to stay in pain. It is their primary addiction. Monkey mind wants you stressed out 24/7. All right, victims think they are forged from outside of themselves. They base their lives on quote-unquote uncontrollable circumstances. They think that all of life's circumstances have been unrequested. They always blame, especially the cosmos or God. They live in the past and they can't create their desired future. They feel very comfortable in their victim role because they chose it on some level, and they live by shoulds. I should do this, I should do that, I should go visit my mom, I should send my grandmother a birthday card. All right. So a master doesn't play into that at all. All right, that's your higher self, the higher vibrational rate or the higher thinking awareness skills. All right. Those going for their master's degree, and call, are going for empowerment. All right? So masters choose what's desired for the joy of it. It's fun. You play. Masters allow without judgment. Masters are they call it control here. I would just say they are aware. All right? They're not going to force it. They know how to let things happen. Masters act, whereas victims react. Masters are owned by no one, no place, no thing, sense of non-attachment. Masters know they create it all, minute to minute, decade to decade. Masters understand maneuvers because they have maneuvered, all right? They don't maneuver, they are creating instead. Masters choose calm where there is chaos. Masters no longer play into the dramas, they ignore them. They no longer give themselves away to the world. The masters blame no one or no thing for anything. Masters always move on without regret, no matter what. They never cop out to things like, oh, that's just the way it is, or God's will, or fate, or luck, either good or bad. And masters own their divinity, and they work daily to magnify that feeling. So it is not God transcendent, it is God immanent, or the divine is not outside of us, it's inside of us. So they're beginning to reclaim this in a much larger way. All right, so victims, you know, I'm sure you can all relate to that. How about the master stuff? Did you guys relate to any of the master stuff? All right, it sounds good, but how much did you really have the life experience with? And it was probably more the victim type things there. All right, so let's do a little exercise here. So grab your pen, and you can just write on the back of the handout there. So this is about choices, and this is where your practice is going to come in, and this comes right down to mental alchemy. We do it a lot in class. Take your focus from off something that is, seems to be not working for you. You're not going to make it better by trying harder here. Bring your focus back to neutral. See if there's another way around it, or you're going to put your focus where it serves you better. You've got to learn how to do this. We are naturally drawn to the part of the brain there that likes to problem solve and likes to get things done, and it's in a hurry and all things like that. So you're going to have to learn to back off from that. All right, and practice is essential. All right. So we're going to learn to what's called, this is mental alchemy, but you're learning to, in this particular instance here, it's called flip switching. But I just call it mental alchemy. All right. So you're looking to look at things differently and have some fun doing it. All right. So let's see something in your life that's a problem. All right. So I'm going to say it's a car problem. So sitting there bemoaning your fate and getting mad and whatever's going on here, all right, learn how to do this. So these are goofy ways to get around that sort of obsessive monkey mind thinking when you're confronted with a problem. Talk to your car about how grateful you are that it runs, and really feel the gratitude. All right? Or if there's something else you want to appreciate, send a flow of deep appreciation to the sun, rain clouds, something natural, your pet. All right, 1 minute of pure appreciation overrides years of negative flow. So 1 minute, you can learn to work up to that. Flow feelings of deep awe towards any resident bug hanging around. Maybe that would be helpful. Denise loves spiders, so she could work on her little spider thing going on. Okay. Okay, all right, so she's got something she could work on there. All right. Be in love as you walk out the door in the morning. Wouldn't that be a nice feeling to have during the day? Feel wonder as you look at something in nature, a leaf, a tree. Manufacture delight over nothing. Get really, delighted with nothing, just for the fun of it. Just see if you can really get into the feeling of something that wasn't there a moment ago, but the more you think about it, the more delighted you get over it. Sing love songs to a tree and really mean every word of your song. Maybe that would be something to get you out of your blocked state. Or flow profound reverence towards a hamburger. All right, so think of a couple on your own here that would just pull you out of a negative mood or pull you out of something that has been bugging you or dragging you down. All right? One of the reasons that I married my husband was he had this kind of head to begin with. All right, when we were dating, he would go up and talk to trees all the time there. He was really into talking to trees. I thought that was great. All right, so see if there's something you can flow some appreciation to or strike up a dialogue with or regard in a different way, all right, to open up that creative third eye there. All right, see things a little differently. All right, just a couple of things here so you can get the hang of pulling yourself or snapping yourself out of that outer directed negative mode there. So have some fun. Just take a couple of moments here and see if you can kind of, have just see your world differently. All right. Every once in a while in yoga class, I have you focus on a part of the body you don't normally focus on: your toenail, your earlobe. Okay, your hair. My dad used to say when he was really sick, my hair hurts. Okay, so that was kind of a funny juxtaposition, you know, about how he really felt. He was so sick his hair hurt, kind of thing there. Okay, let's go ahead. Just kind of see if there's something you'd like to regard a little differently in a more creative way, something that maybe has been bothering you that you could look at. I heard something the other day, take all your jokes seriously, and anything you take seriously, you know, try to make a joke out of it. So what you're doing here is taking something serious and being a little playful with it. When you play, you relax. We're trying to get you to relax here, not only physically but mentally, trying to get you to open up a little more. All right? Just a couple more quotes for you to kind of ponder. All right, great quote from Emmett Fox. Whatsoever enters your life is but the material expression of some belief in your own mind. Therefore, it pays to train your mind, all right, to what you wish to manifest, though it is not easy to hold positive thoughts in place. It is challenging. That's why you need to learn to work with a sense of discouragement, learn to put some of these techniques into place so that you can get past these self-imposed blocks. Practice, practice, practice. Think of that guy out there in front of the pizza place. He's worn that groove in the lawn there, back and forth there. All right, well, obviously, it's in terms of, you know, the lawn. You know, he's sort of made an impression on the lawn. Maybe you want to do more with your life than being a pizza guy. That's all right, too, but it's still going to take practice, and it's still going to have the same kind of impact on your brain and your life. All right. The most common question asked for people that teach these manifestation techniques, all right, why is it taking so long to get what I want? All right. The answer is, the short answer is, what you're putting or transmitting out into the cosmic does not match your true desires. All right, so your desires have been hijacked, or your energy flow has been hijacked by the negativity, performance anxiety, confidence problems. That's what you're flowing out, and that what is preventing, you know, your real true feelings from being what's put out instead. All right, you can't do one or the other. You got to do one or the other. You can't do both. So begin to choose to flow this energy much more appropriately. All right. Consider possibility thinking. Great quote from one of the science fiction programs in the 60s. Mr. Spock said, I always like to think there are possibilities. So begin to imagine that even in the worst situation, pull back into what we call higher mind, spirit mind, which sees that there are never any problems and there are no impossible situations or no, you know, unsolvable situations, and begin to work at that level instead. All right? Possibility thinking means not automatically saying no when you get some of these brilliant ideas. All right? Begin to say, you know, that's a possibility, although I don't see how I can get from point A to point B right now, but boy, I can feel my energy flowing towards it, so I think I'm going to let that, you know, take me there, instead of just automatically saying, oh, God, forget it. I'm not even going to bother with it. It just isn't going to happen. How do you know? That's monkey mind thinking. You're very limited. All right. Your divine assignment is to live a life you love, to do the work you love, and to become a person that you believe in, all right, and have great confidence in, all right? You are always in what Gay Hendricks calls a zone of genius, though you may not know it. And the zone of genius has some very specific characteristics. It is a place where you break free from all self-imposed lack limitations. You realize your power to co-create with the cosmic a whole new harmonious, prosperous, healthy life, all right? And a more abundant life, more abundant for yourself and others. You know and feel the cosmic supporting you in this wonderful endeavor. You find exhilaration and constant sense of purpose. You're in a place where even time feels different, and work doesn't feel like work. It's the type of situation where you can't believe you're being paid to do this. All right. So you've got some techniques here. You've got the Vayana. All right, that's one way to switch your focus. When you're feeling negative, you're feeling down, Vayana. Put that on your little sticky notes. All right, you can insist there's an option, pick that option, begin to really let it, work in your life. Use your sticky notes, remind yourself every hour, do the flow thing for 16 seconds. All right, meditation. All right, they're all different ways, but the main thing is you're taking back your own power. When you create your best life, you're taking this power back. It's been given out there for whatever reason. We talked about victims. We talk about being more of a master creator. All right, and you can choose to pull back from some of these dysfunctional patterns there and instead put your focus where you prefer it to be. But it's not easy to do this, and it's going to take some effort, and it's going to take practice, practice, practice. So if you do come to yoga class, we're giving you practice and learning how to shift your focus. We're just taking it one step further here, where you begin to really focus on what you'd like to have manifest, and you're like kind of a dog with a bone there, all right? You really let it become sort of what you're thinking and putting out. The more you think about something that really suits you, the more you will find you will begin your imagination drawing to it these increasingly detailed pictures, and you're really delighted to think about this thing that hasn't manifested yet, but you still love thinking about it. It's pretty bad when your monkey mind won't even let you imagine something better, all right? If you won't even dare to let yourself imagine, then how do you think that anything's going to get better? Right? So you're letting yourself learn to imagine this stuff here, and that begins to be where your focus is and your awareness is, and what is in your head, as he talked about here, is going to start to focus out. So if you got some yucky stuff in your life, and most people do, you got some options about how to regard it and not to feel like a victim, and to feel that, well, I've got to learn something from this, so that you feel like at least you've turned the situation into something that is going to be something you learn from, instead of something that it just becomes a permanent scar on your psyche and you never recover from it. You always have a choice, but you don't have to put up with that. But you got to learn how to do this. To most people, this doesn't come easily or naturally. So if you find you're struggling with it, you and everybody else, but there are plenty of people out there that have learned these techniques and are living a completely different life than, I'd say 90% of the people on the planet here, because they have learned these techniques and they've really put them into practice. So it's kind of like taking your yoga practice one step further. So any questions, anything like that? Yes, go ahead.
Okay. When we work on our personal practice,
Mm-hmm.
and we are trying to be more of the masters,
Yeah.
rather than the victims.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When there are victims around us,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's easier to separate yourself
Mm-hmm.
from victims who are outside of the family,
Mm-hmm.
but not so easy
Yes.
to separate yourself from victims who are very, very close to you.
Absolutely. Yep.
You cannot completely separate yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do you, in a positive light, without coming across as being aloof
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
unfeeling,
Yeah.
uncaring,
Yeah. Yeah.
how do you deal with these people who are not quite ready to be in the same place that you
Right.
are?
What you have to do is, there's actually a technique for it. Yeah. There's a technique for it, which is you just simply kind of surrender them to the cosmic or to the universe with blessings and light. All right, where you wish the best for them. You don't have to know how this is going to come about, but you kind of just say, well, I'm just sending you off with blessings and light, and we'll kind of agree to disagree a little bit, where you're not judging them in any way there, but you say, you know what, I'm just going to surrender this up to my higher power there, and that's the best that I can do with this at the moment. So don't let monkey mind bully you into thinking I got to fix their problem. I got to do this one more time and then it'll be okay there. You have to do what's right for you, and at the same time you are releasing them with love, is what it amounts to.
Are you saying that to them?
You don't have to. No, you don't have to necessarily.
When they're actually
Yeah.
engaged with you?
Yeah. Sometimes you got to get up and.
Say, you know what, I can't do this.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You walk away. You physically pull yourself away from them. Absolutely. Yeah. If that's it feels appropriate, and you say, you know what, I think I'm just overloaded right now, and I think I just got to go have some quiet time, and we'll get back to this when we both feel better. Absolutely. Yeah. You're getting out of that toxic energy field. That is an option. That's an option. You can say this to them, or you can just say, you know what, I'm just going to remove myself from the whole situation there, get where you can calm down. You know what, just blessings and light, and take it, the next time when it happens, just see what happens there. But absolutely, yeah, you can pull yourself away. Yeah. Kari, any input? Yes, Connie? Connie? Okay, okay.
I think that a lot of times when you're in a situation like that where you know for your own sake you should pull away, and that's the right thing to do, but we're so taught
Yep.
that you got to feel guilty about pulling away from people that you know
Yeah.
are toxic. And you just have to, I think you have to get beyond that, which is extremely difficult.
It is. It is.
Everybody suffers with that.
Right.
And it's just an extremely difficult situation because you feel selfish. Hey, I'm not going to deal with this person who's needy and wants me and wants this and that. I'm not going to deal with them. Well, then all of a sudden, well, now I feel selfish.
There you go.
But I think you've got to just weigh in
It's not
there.
even that, it's that I don't want to cut off relationships with, because it is a family member. I mean, if it was a coworker.
Yeah, yeah.
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 They're family members, and most of the time they're good people, but
Mhm.
every now
Mhm.
and then, they
Yeah.
sink down into the depths of despair, and
Yeah.
they want to drag everybody with them.
No, no. At that point, you've just got to say, well, I understand where you're coming from, but you know what? I'm going to bow out this time if you don't mind. But you're not mean about it, and you're not sitting there being confrontational or anything like that. You just model this better behavior, you know. And Carrie?
Yeah, I was just going to add, I mean, it goes back to what you were saying before. You can either, I think it's, for me, it's much more about whether I'm conscious about it or not. Because if you aren't conscious about it,
Yeah.
then unconsciously, you're going to do what she was saying before. You're going to unconsciously give them your power. You're going to unconsciously tell them it's okay for you to do that. But if before the situation or during the situation, you can come to more consciousness of, I don't want them to suck me in. I'm not going to allow, even if you're just energetically kind of putting up a feel. I mean, there's different techniques you can do, you know, just even within yourself. But it's what she was saying earlier. If you don't consciously choose to not engage with them, they can be however they want to be. But if you don't consciously choose it, because if not, then unconsciously, you're right. You are letting yourself on an unconscious level get sucked into that.
If you've already made that decision, and I'm not going to get sucked in. Is it better to tell the person, you know what, so that you don't think that I'm being, uncaring or unfeeling? I would really like you to handle this by yourself.
Yeah, I think that's
If
valid.
that feels right to you,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's a personal, choice, whether you, feel the need to express it or if it's just something that you're okay with within yourself. I mean, that's something maybe you just need to sit with too, of can I be okay within, because sometimes, telling the other person isn't going to do anything, but maybe you still need to, and that, that's
Yeah.
for you to decide, and
Yeah.
it's probably going to be an individual,
Yeah.
per person, per situation, basis.
And it's like, if you read about somebody who says, these are good diet tips, if you want to go on a diet or something, and like the best diet tip is, okay, I'm going to go to McDonald's for lunch. Before I walk in the door, I know I'm going to get a bottle of water and a low-fat salad with low-fat dressing and grilled chicken. Okay, I've got that in my mind. I'm not going to look up there and say, "Oh, Big Mac," And so I think that's true with these relationships too. I'm going to set myself up right now before I see this person, and I'm just going to say, "This is how I'm going to handle things." Because I'll tell you, and I think everybody has those people that either know how to push your buttons or they know how to get something from you. And everybody has relationships with those people. You just can't be
You
immune.
can't isolate yourself.
Yeah, no.
And so I think it's a difficult thing, but it's probably a good thing to practice, is to just say before
Having a game plan.
Yeah, Andy.
I think that even though I think it's important to be spontaneous and improvise and stuff, I think that sometimes, given a situation, improvisation simply just is not the right course of action.
Yeah,
And I think that having a game plan really can help out, because if you've already got something in your head, you can stick to it, and you don't have to worry about this person approaching you with, say, I don't know, like new information or pushing a new button or sucking you in more, because if that's not part of what you decided you were okay with before it started, then you can just be like, okay, this is going to somewhere where I'm not going to take it. And
You're setting boundaries.
And because in dealings with people, I personally like to keep to spontaneity and improvise, and whatever happens, but sometimes it's just better to,
I was going to say, with family, where we're talking about deeply entrenched stuff where there's a lot unconsciously going on that we tend to react to, that having a game plan is much better than that, because like Betsy said, if you don't consciously choose ahead of time or in the moment or re-choose unconsciously, your emotions are going to react how they've been programmed, you know, for so long to react.
But that doesn't, every moment is new, and it doesn't
Yeah.
mean, because that's the way, the past
Yeah, you
is,
have to read
the
too
past is not
sharply,
precedent.
read-
The past is not precedent. And that's what you can choose to embrace. Yes, all right. You go, Benjamin. All right. Any more questions? Questions like that. It's practice. It's practice, practice, practice. And this becoming to awareness can be quite traumatic. But as you get older, you're going to find that you're going to have to maybe redefine some of these relationships and do what is best for you, or at least get it equaled out where it's good for you and it's good for them. And it may involve saying this to them, or it just may involve some other, you know, you just physically remove yourself and say, you know, I'm just going to take a break. It's hard to say.
I would throw a wrench in if I were coaching you. I would ask you, if this were a coworker, why would it be easier to let it go as opposed to just because it's a family? Okay. And again, that would be something that I would say to look to
into my gut.
Yeah. All right.
I understand.
All right.
I understand. Yeah.
So thank you very much, and we appreciate you coming in here. Next month is going to be, tapping into your sacred individuality, if you're interested in something like that, beginning to open up to your sacred individuality. So thank you for coming, and namaste.